What's up?
Okay, great. All right, so module 29, the impacts of mining.
So this will be like YouTube forever.
Yep.
Sweet.
Okay, so your learning goals today are describe the natural resources that are extracted from the earth through mining, and then identify the ecological and economic impacts of mining. Okay? I thought those gifts were fun stuff.
Gifts? I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Have you ever watched Holes?
You keep digging. That's too different. Why?
So
watch that movie.
it gets me every time.
You keep digging.
I need
Test correction day.
It's about
Yeah, the earth and the
Soil? Yeah. Drought?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we can get
And not go to jail.
and there's yellow.
biodiversity. Great. All right, so here we go. So our first standard, describe how natural resources are extracted from the earth through mining. So in the earth form, the heavier materials or elements sink towards the core. When the lighter ones came near the surface, that's typically how density works. The heavier you are, the more dense you are, you sink. And the lighter you are, the more you float. Okay? Crust abundance is the average concentration of an element in the Earth's crust. We'll look at a figure in just a second of what that means. Okay? But it just means how much there is in the soil that you see around you. Okay? Ores are concentrated accumulations of minerals that have considerable economic value. So a lot of times we say ore for like steel or gas, something like that. And it's just something that has minerals that has value. That's a general description of an ore. Okay? And then ores are different from metals, which are elements with properties that allow them to conduct electricity, heat, energy. So a metal could be an ore, but an ore doesn't necessarily have to be a metal. Just like a square and a rectangle, those things are related, but not the same thing, right? Okay. So this is a crust abundance graph, and it's kind of interesting to think about. So the most two prevalent things in the Earth's crust are oxygen and silicon, or silicon. Okay, and silicon, anybody know what that is? It's sand. Yeah. Okay, so it's the main component in most of your sand. Okay, and then oxygen, you may or may not have a test question about that, so it might be good to know that oxygen and silicon are the most two abundant things in Earth's crust. Okay, and then calcium, magnesium, iron, aluminum, and then other. Okay, so a lot of those things, aluminum, not really worried about, but iron and magnesium and calcium, those are big parts of your diet. And so that makes sense that those are pretty abundant in the earth, because that's probably what your plants are sucking up. I think I got them on the right page. All right, good. So after the formation of Earth, heavy metals sank towards. I feel like we just did this. Did I go the wrong way? Oh yeah, okay, yeah. This is a little bit different though. So after the formation of Earth, okay, heavy elements sink towards the core, lighter ones remain near the surface. Crustal abundance, okay, we talked about that. Okay, ore is different than metal. Both are in finite reserves, which means that there is a definite number of these things. They don't cycle back through naturally, or excuse me, they would if we didn't exist, but once we use them all, there's no more left. Okay, and so these are some of the ores that we're talking about, and hopefully if you've taken a chemistry class, you recognize all of those elements, so aluminum, copper, lead, zinc, gold, nickel, cobalt, manganese, and chromium. Okay, and so, my gosh, sorry. Global reserves mining means that, or remaining, is if we keep using these resources at our current rate and our current recycling rate, so it does figure in recycling, okay, this is how long we have left. So most of the world, we have 100 years left of using aluminum at the current rate that we use it and recycle it at, okay? So those numbers could change, right? We could use aluminum a lot more and recycle it a lot less, or we could end up using it less and recycling a lot more, right? So talk to the person next to you. What would you predict will happen to the U.S. if we keep up our current rate of usage and recycling on some of these more important things like gold or zinc or aluminum or whatever, where we're a little bit different from the world. Ready to go. All right, person next to you. Okay. So specifically just the U.S., not the global scale.
Oh, I'm not gonna be.
Okay. All right, bring it back. So I heard if we run out, we're gonna have to trade things, which might affect our economy. Or Micah said we will probably just have to go invade and take what we want. And not so many words. He said it a little differently than that. But does anybody have any different results than those two things? Trading or war? No? All right, cool. Yeah, so if we don't use things sustainably, we're going to have to pay more money for it. This is what it is. Supposed to be what? Dying seeds? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
That's what he's saying. I just want to know when. Like, can I just like get it done, or like, do I need to really like?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't answer that for you. That's a perfect perspective. Yeah. All right. So mining techniques. So this is how they get out from the ground. We're talking about what they will get out now. This is a couple ways to do it. The mining techniques have changed depending on the resources sought after and the technology available. So as you can imagine, mining has definitely changed in the last 100 years or so. So there's two big types of mining. The first one is surface mining. It includes strip mining, open pit mining, mountaintop removal, and placer mining. So strip mining removes strips of surfaces of rock. I have a picture of that in the next slide. Okay, open pit mining creates a large hole in the ground to reach the desired resource. And the other type of mining is subsurface mining. Open pit mining and subsurface mining are different. So keep that in mind. Okay, open pit, you're still going to be able to see the whole mine from a bird's eye view. Okay, mountaintop removal is removing a mountains with explosive to reach resources below. And then placer mining is looking for minerals or metals or stones in river sediment. So that's like panning for gold. Like you'll see in those Alaskan shows, like they'll take, the water out, or they'll take the dirt out, they run it through the hopper or whatever, and then they get gold out. Or what you think about when you think about the California gold rush, so the miner 49ers, etc. Okay, miners want to remove the resource using these methods, but they'll return their unwanted waste materials back to the source, which are called mine tailings. So that's going to be very important for your activity tomorrow. And that is one of the questions on your review guide. Was a mine tailing? Okay, it's when you take back the stuff you don't want. So the big rocks, the dirt, etc. Strip mining is when you're taking the rocks off the top, and so that's going to lead to what would you guess when you remove the top surface? Erosion, yeah. Okay, so when you remove the vegetation, the top rock is going to lead to erosion. That might be a review question right there. Okay. All right, so strip mining is kind of what it sounds like. So you're taking the tops off of things. That might be a little bit inappropriate, but that's okay. So it looks kind of more like terrace farming. That would be the other thing I would correlate it to. So you're just taking the tops off of things. And then this is an open pit mine, so it kind of step ladders down. Okay.
Strip mining be kind of used for like quarries and stuff.
Yeah, so here in Missouri, you do have a lot of quarries because we do have a lot of limestone, and that's people like it. Hi, Micah, I appreciate you.
Open pit would be for like quarries.
I'm not exactly sure what they would use open pit mining, but if you've ever been to there's mines around Columbia like this, and so there's quarries that have been open pit mined. You can jump in them. I don't think you're supposed to. But in Mr. Levin's younger days, I did some cliff diving at an open pit mine in Vermont, and that was pretty fun. Scary, but fun. Okay. Next. So another form of mining is called subsurface mining. So subsurface is when you go below the surface at least 100 meters. or more, 328 feet. Okay, so this is, you're talking about coal mines. Okay, what do we go get coal for?
Power, electricity.
Yeah, power and electricity, good. And subsurface mines tend to be expensive compared to surface mining methods available today. So the reason for that is it's dangerous to do. Why is it dangerous? 2 reasons. Okay, so it can collapse, first reason. Second reason, poisonous fumes. Anybody know what that fume might be? Methane, yeah. Good, somebody's doing the review as I'm talking, right? Yeah, so methane would be the poisonous chemical. So methane is like cow farts. It's carbon and 4 oxygen, or it's carbon and 4 hydrogens, I believe, right? And so if you've ever heard the term the canary in the coal mine, what they would do is they would send a bird in there. And if you could hear the canary sing, then it was safe to go in because it was susceptible to methane killing it.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the most dangerous. It's typically not as profitable anymore because of insurance. So they have to pay a lot of money to mine that stuff, and if they get it wrong, that's a big risk. So we're trying to get away from coal mines anyways. And so this is kind of a big description or a picture that shows you most of the ways. So mountaintop removal just looks like you took a haircut on there. Okay, took the top. A strip mine, you see where there's vegetation here, and we've taken the vegetation and the top rocks off to get what we want. Subsurface mining, so usually there's shafts and elevators to bring your equipment up and down, and you're going pretty deep because they're looking for fossil fuels, right, and coal. Open pit, again, it kind of looks like it has steps down. So you'd like walk downstairs, okay, and then place your mines. So typically they're going to be on the surface, and they're going to run like this. This guy's painted for gold over here, so he's trying to take the gold out as a process to where gold is a little bit heavier than water, so it'll sink down. How many? 19 times heavier than water. Interesting. All right. Now we're on our second standard. So identify ecological and economical benefits, oh my gosh, impacts of mining. So mining resources has impacts on the ecosystem as well as economic consequences. So air, water, soil, and biodiversity are affected by surface mining, as well as causing health concerns on humans working and living near mines. Okay, subsurface mining impacts air, water, and biodiversity and can be economically prohibited due to safety and insurance concerns. Okay, so whenever you're mining, you are kicking up a lot of dirt and sediment and things like that for air particles, making it difficult for people to potentially breathe. That stuff, as you guys know from your last FRQ, is getting into the waterways, and then you talk about watersheds, and it's all going downhill and preventing biodiversity or making animals leave that area because like they don't like sand in their water, right? Okay. And there is a graphic that is shown on page protectors, I just need to. Thanks. Bye. Okay. So, type of operation versus its effect on air and water. I'm not going to read that to you. You can read it yourself. Questions, comments, concerns? Great.